For years, the Beckham family built this picture-perfect image, powerful, polished, and untouchable. But that flawless frame is cracked wide open for everyone to see. And right in the middle of this family storm, Brooklyn Beckham, his wife Nicola Peltz, and her billionaire father, Nelson Peltz, a man who, insiders whisper, never believed Brooklyn should be anywhere near his daughter. What started as quiet tension has exploded into a full-blown family war with legal threats, harsh public statements, and total communication breakdowns flying everywhere. There's a line that might never be crossed back again, and the question haunting everyone now is wild. Is Brooklyn making his own choices, or has he fallen completely under the Peltz family's control? Behind all those picture-perfect Instagram smiles and sweet love posts, there's a deeper battle happening, one all about power and control. Things hit the boiling point when Brooklyn publicly blasted his own parents in a long, emotional post that shocked everyone.
Yours is, you smell good. Your smile makes me very happy.
I thought that's
You're funny, very funny actually, and you're very hardworking.
Oh, I love you.
Very passionate about what you do, and I like that.
He straight up accused David and Victoria Beckham of twisting stories, protecting their image more than their family, and constantly disrespecting Nicola. There was no sugarcoating it, no room for guessing. Brooklyn made one thing clear. He was standing by Nicola, and he wanted nothing to do with making peace. What really stunned people wasn't just what he said, it was how final it all sounded. No soft tone, no we'll work it out, just a bold, cold message that screamed, this break is real. People close to the Beckhams say that Brooklyn's explosive post didn't just come out of nowhere, it was the final spark after something serious happened behind the scenes. Just days before he went public, David and Victoria Beckham reportedly sent a private, handwritten letter straight to their son. No managers, no PR teams, no social media drama, just a personal message from parents to their child. Why? Because the family's communication had already collapsed completely.
So we have 4 dogs, and the way she treats them, I feel like you're going to be the most amazing mum with our kids.
Oh, I love you.
That. Yeah.
According to insiders, Brooklyn had already dropped a bombshell before that, a cease and desist letter demanding his parents stop talking about him publicly and speak only through lawyers. That move left the Beckhams in total shock. But what really rattled them was the growing belief that this cold legal step didn't come from Brooklyn alone. They suspected Nicola and her powerful parents were pulling the strings. Those who've seen the Beckhams' letter say it wasn't angry or defensive. It was heartfelt and emotional, filled with worry and love. David and Victoria just wanted a sign that their son was okay, begging him to keep a little bit of the family connection alive. But instead of healing the rift, that letter only made things worse. A few days later, Brooklyn went public with his fiery statement, turning the quiet family drama into headline news. He insisted he was finally speaking for himself and shot back hard at the rumors, saying the idea that Nicola controls him is completely backwards. In his words, it was his parents who had been calling the shots his whole life, and now he was done with that. This is where public opinion really starts to split, because while Brooklyn keeps saying he's finally free, every move he's made since cutting ties seems to pull him deeper into the Peltz family's world. He lives in their orbit, parties in their circle, and reportedly only speaks to his parents through middlemen now.
You can take it away.
We met almost 8 years ago at Coachella.
Yeah, we didn't get along.
Yeah, we didn't get along, but I always thought she was really beautiful, and I think she thought I was handsome, and we didn't really talk. And then, 6 years ago, I came to LA for Halloween.
That's got people whispering that this drama isn't just about family tension anymore. It's about power and control between two major dynasties. And if there's one event everyone keeps bringing up, it's the wedding. More specifically, that now infamous first dance. Brooklyn claimed his mom, Victoria, hijacked the dance meant for him and Nicola, leaving him embarrassed in front of everyone. He said Nicola ran off in tears, totally heartbroken. People there said you could feel the energy shift instantly. The joy just drained out of the room. What should have been a beautiful family moment turned into the exact point where things broke for good. Even guests who swear they're neutral admit that the dance wasn't just about music or timing. It was about emotion, boundaries, and pride. That moment showed everyone that this was more than a misunderstanding. It was a power clash between two families who both wanted the spotlight. For Nicola, insiders say that moment was the final straw. After the wedding, reports claim she made her stance crystal clear. She was done trying to blend the two families. According to people close to the situation, that dance didn't just ruin a night, it set the stage for a feud that's still burning strong. Brooklyn was told straight up he couldn't have both his wife and his mother in his life. It came down to a choice, and Brooklyn chose Nicola. Since that moment, insiders say invites have been ignored, family gatherings skipped, and all real communication completely cut off. Sources claim Nicola has stood her ground, refusing to show up at any event where David and Victoria might be. Now, depending on who you ask, that's either strong self-protection or pure manipulation. But one thing's for sure, Brooklyn Beckham is almost entirely cut off from the family he grew up with. And while Nicola's been the one front and center, the real powerhouse in this whole story barely says a word: her father, Nelson Peltz. Nelson isn't just wealthy, he's a billionaire business shark known for his control, precision, and ability to pull strings behind the scenes. According to multiple reports, he's never been too impressed with Brooklyn. Sources claim Nelson has quietly brushed off Brooklyn's career moves, from photography to cooking to lifestyle branding, calling them scattered and not serious. No public shade, no big arguments, just cold skepticism. But when the man who controls the empire you live under isn't convinced by you, that's huge. And this isn't just about family tension, it's about power, money, and control. People close to the situation say Nelson's influence runs deep, and Brooklyn is now fully inside that system. To make things even intense, there's one more detail that's raised eyebrows: the prenup. Before the wedding, Brooklyn signed a tight agreement making it clear he wouldn't get a penny from the Peltz fortune if the marriage ever fell apart. He'd only leave with what they built together. For the Beckhams, that agreement said it all. Brooklyn is not just in love, he's in deep. That prenup didn't raise eyebrows because of money, it raised serious alarms because of dependency. If Brooklyn's marriage ever fell apart after cutting ties with his parents, he wouldn't just lose Nicola, he'd lose his entire safety net. No family to fall back on, no foundation to rebuild from. And that's what's been haunting David and Victoria Beckham, the fear that their son has handed over his whole future to someone else's control. Still, those close to the Beckhams say the door to home is wide open. They insist David and Victoria would take Brooklyn back in a heartbeat. No conditions, no public apology, no drama. They just want their son back. But Brooklyn isn't budging. He's standing firm, saying he has no regrets. He believes he spoke his truth, and he feels totally justified in walking away from the family that made him famous. Meanwhile, life moves on for the rest of the Beckhams. His siblings are thriving, careers are booming, and the family brand stays shining. Yet one piece of that picture-perfect puzzle is still missing: Brooklyn. And while he swears he's finally free, people who've known him long before Nicola, long before the fame and family politics, are starting to speak out. And what they're revealing isn't flattering for anyone involved. One of the most surprising voices to jump into the feud didn't come from Hollywood or fashion, it came from football. Brooklyn's former youth coach from his QPR days broke his silence, expressing sympathy for him, but not in the way people expected. He didn't take sides, he just shared his truth about the kid he used to coach, and his words hit harder than anyone saw coming. He didn't defend David and Victoria, and he definitely didn't hype up Brooklyn's decisions either. Instead, he painted a raw, heartbreaking picture of a childhood shaped by pressure, anxiety, and a complicated family dynamic that most people could never wrap their heads around. He talked about a teenage Brooklyn being shadowed by security guards at just 14, a kid growing up under constant watch. Fame and money surrounded him, But real peace and stability? Nowhere to be found. Even for someone used to working with celebrity kids, the whole situation felt unsettling. The coach didn't point fingers or assign blame, but his message hit deep. Brooklyn never had a normal childhood, and that made him vulnerable. Vulnerable to influence, vulnerable to control, and vulnerable to the idea that cutting off everyone might be the only way to breathe again. That's where things get truly uncomfortable, because when you strip away all the emotion and headlines, something becomes crystal clear. Nicola didn't leave her world to join Brooklyn's. Brooklyn left his to join hers. She stayed close to her family, kept her own financial independence, and never gave up her support system. Meanwhile, Brooklyn stepped away from his, cutting ties with his parents, losing that lifelong safety net, and anchoring his emotional world entirely to the Peltz household. And that's what's really worrying the people watching from the outside. Not because Nicola's the villain, and not because Brooklyn's weak, but because isolation changes everything. When one person becomes your only emotional anchor, their influence can feel absolute, even if they're not trying to control you. And through all this chaos, one person remains silent: Nelson Peltz. Despite being dragged into the headlines, the billionaire patriarch hasn't said a single public word, and that silence speaks volumes. No denials, no clarifications, no public defense of his son-in-law. Nothing at all. And for someone as sharp and strategic as Nelson Peltz, that kind of silence doesn't happen by accident. People who know him describe Nelson as a man who moves with precision, decisive, direct, and totally unimpressed by appearances or hype. Reports say he sees Brooklyn as scattered and unfocused, a young man still trying to figure out who he is while riding the weight of a famous last name. Now, maybe that judgment isn't fair, but when power, money, and legacy are involved, perception matters more than truth. Insiders say Nelson's doubts have only grown stronger as Brooklyn's feud with his parents got messier. Because in the world of the elite, cutting off your family doesn't look like strength, it looks like chaos, and chaos is bad business. Behind all this tension sits another huge factor: Brooklyn's professional identity. He's dabbled in photography, tried his hand at cooking, launched lifestyle projects, and tested branding ventures, but none have really cemented him as a serious player. Every new move gets picked apart publicly and reportedly questioned privately within the Peltz family. Meanwhile, David Beckham built his empire with relentless grind and discipline, while Brooklyn's career has zigzagged between passions with no solid direction. That contrast says it all. One family runs on legacy and endurance, the other runs on dominance and results. So yeah, friction was bound to explode. Sources close to the Beckhams say they saw the change in Brooklyn long before things went public. It started subtly. He began deferring every decision, conversations started going through other people, and private talks suddenly required legal middlemen. That's when they realized something huge had shifted, and their son wasn't steering his own ship anymore. Those close to the Beckhams swear Brooklyn didn't always talk like this. He didn't used to paint his parents as villains or act like they were controlling his every move. But while Brooklyn completely rejects that version of the story, the timing is hard to ignore. The deeper his marriage went, the further he drifted away. And the biggest clue that something deeper is going on? The people not taking sides, his siblings. Brooklyn's brothers and sister have kept things cool, still posting with their parents, still showing love, still living their own lives without any public drama. That contrast has people talking, sparking rumors that maybe Brooklyn's situation isn't about family control at all, but something more personal. Because let's be real, if the Beckham home was truly as controlling as Brooklyn claims, why did only he walk away while the rest stayed close? Online, some fans call Brooklyn brave for standing up for himself, but behind the scenes, the price has been brutal. No easy calls, no random family drop-ins, no sense of warmth. Everything now goes through formal channels and filtered communication. Once a family reaches that level of distance, rebuilding becomes almost impossible. Most celebrity family feuds follow the same tired pattern: a shocking fallout, a long silence, then some kind of emotional reunion. But this one, it's different, because it's not just about feelings, it's about structure, power, and identity. You've got two powerhouse families with completely different value systems and one son trapped right in the middle. And the longer this battle drags on, the more permanent it all starts to feel, which leaves everyone asking the same haunting question: can this family ever find their way back? So here's the big question that's got everyone talking. What happens if Brooklyn ever changes his mind? Because let's be real, walking away always feels easy when you believe you're right, but coming back, that takes serious humility and forgiveness on both sides. Sources say David and Victoria would welcome him home in a heartbeat, no grudges, no lectures. But can the same be said for everyone else in the picture? Would Nicola support that kind of reunion? Would Nelson Peltz even allow it? Or has the line been crossed for good this time? Right now, the Beckham family seems to exist in two completely different worlds, one moving forward together, smiling in public, and another standing miles apart, too proud to reach out. Brooklyn swears he has no regrets, David and Victoria claim they'll wait as long as it takes, and Nicola, she stays front and center, steady, calm, and unshakable. Whether she's fiercely protecting her marriage or quietly steering the story from behind the scenes depends entirely on how you see it. But one thing is undeniable. Brooklyn Beckham's life has changed forever, and there might not be an easy way back from here. So what do you think? Has the bridge been burned for good, or is there still a chance for forgiveness down the line? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment if you want more deep dives into stories just like this one.